and welcome to the Narrowing Path, walking the spiritual walk. My name is Steve Van Eiderstein. Thank y'all for joining me again today as we go into August 3rd's reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations. This will be fresh to you and fresh to me, meaning this will be the first time that I read or hear this meditation right on this podcast with y'all. So you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading. So August has started off with a much different tone than July, but that's always good to shift and take a look at a little bit different of an area. So I've been excited to get started into August. So let's see what today brings us. Now, here we go. This is August 3rd from James Allen's Daily Meditations. Become established in mortality, heaven and the spirit, which make up the empire of light. Entering into the infinite is not a mere theory or sentiment. It is a vital experience which is the result of an assiduous practice in inward purification. When the body is no longer to be, even remotely, the real man, when all appetites and desires are thoroughly subdued and purified, when the oscillation of the intellect ceases and perfect poise is secured, then, and not till then, does consciousness become one with the infinite. Not till then is childlike wisdom and profound peace secured. Men grow gray over the problems of life and finally pass away and leave them unsolved because they cannot see their way out of the darkness of the personality, being too much engrossed in its limitations, seeking to save his personal life. Man loses the greater impersonal life of truth. Wow. This is really kind of talking about one of those very large sacrifices we have to make, which is not defining ourselves by our personalities. It was a concept that I believe this reading was also out of Byways to Blessedness. I'm not entirely sure on that, but it was a different concept to me because everything I define myself by, external to me, that might not make immediate sense saying my personality is external to me. But if we are to use our bodies and to use our brains for a righteous path and for virtue and for the pursuit of truth and love, and our personality resides really in our minds, in our egos. Our personality is something that's actually attached to our ego, from my understanding, and I believe that because my personality, I am my personality is what I used to think. So I would have to behave a certain way because it's part of my personality, right? And it's not true. It's not true. Now, everything can be changed. Absolutely everything can be changed. So if it's fluid in that way, then it can't be me. So it's a subjective thing, our personalities. It may be shaped by many, many things, but it's something we hold on to. And it's not ours. Or it's not us. It's another external thing to define ourselves by, to um, guide our decision-making process. So, all right, let's go through this one again, line by line. Become established in mortality, heaven, and the spirit, which make up the empire of light. Now, that's a steep order. Or mortality, heaven, and the spirit, which make up the empire of light. So that's really getting in line with that power greater than ourselves, that God of our understanding. That's what that empire of light actually is. Entering into the infinite is not a mere theory or sentiment. So he's saying it's something you can really do. It's something you can really become a part of. If we can rise to that level and embrace it. It is a vital experience, which is the result of assiduous practice in inward purification. Now I'll look that up for you real quick. Showing great care and perseverance. It is a vital experience in which is the vital experience which is the result of perseverance of practice in inward purification. So it's the constant looking at ourselves, purifying our thoughts, purifying our actions, purifying our souls, our intentions, and our hearts. We purify those things, and it's a constant thing. It's not a one and done. This is a growth path. This is a growth way of living spiritually. And you continue to be willing to look at those things as you continue to grow through them. When the body is no longer to be even remotely the real man. See, we're talking right now about the things we have to sacrifice in order to join that empire of light. So, when the body is no longer to be even remotely the real man. So, when we don't define ourselves by our physical body, when all appetites and desires are thoroughly subdued and purified, when all of that's kind of our personality, right? That's kind of our selfishness is our self-centeredness, our ego. When the oscillation of the intellect ceases and perfect poise is secured. So when we stop trying to figure these things out and try to put them in a perspective that best serves us, right? So it's the back and forth, the indecisiveness, right? And when we stop giving those things, our egos, our minds, our bodies, the defining realities of who we are, suddenly, then, and not till then, does consciousness become one with the infinite. Until we let all those things go, until we're willing to live outside of those limitations we've placed on ourselves through associating through to those things, because that's what all it does. It places limitations on who we are. It places false beliefs in our mind, and then we have a very difficult time growing or changing perspective because I was somebody that became so ingrained with certain defining factors that I got stuck. That last part of the sentence was, and not till then is childlike wisdom and profound peace secured. So when we let all these things go, that's where peace is on the other side, because we get pulled in all these different directions. Our ego lights up, our selfishness and self-centeredness lights up, our physical body or our physical appearance blocks that peace. There's so many things we can place in front of what really matters without even realizing it. That's the thing. We think we're pursuing the correct things, and we're not. We're pursuing things that serve us. Always. Men grow gray over the problems of life and finally pass away and leave them unsolved because they cannot see their way out of the darkness of the personality, being too much engrossed in its limitations. Right? That's a powerful statement right there, actually. We grow gray over the problems of life, our lives, other people's lives, the world, our local governments, our local economies, societies, local community dynamics, whatever it is. We become engrossed with it, We grow gray over the problems of life and finally pass away and leave them unsolved, like every generation before us has done. They have left these problems unsolved, not because they didn't care about them, not because they didn't put effort towards them, because we got too wrapped up in the limitations of our own physical selves and our own mental capacities and our own selfish egos. They cannot see their way out of the darkness of the personality being too much engrossed with its limitations. Personality again, right? We're only capable of what our personality is capable of. Everything else is a problem. When you can start to break those barriers, but those walls, those limitations, it's an amazing thing. It really is. It's a open, it's a cleansing thing, honestly, because you just don't even know what you're missing, right? You don't even know that those barriers are there, and then suddenly they come down, and you're like, it's this overwhelming sense of opportunity, possibility, and power flow in because you're not limiting your own power. You're not limiting your own capabilities. So we get too wrapped up in ourselves, which I don't think is too far away from a belief that many have, if I'm honest with you. So now this is the last line here. Seeking to save his personal life, man loses the greater impersonal life of truth. Our sphere and selfishness get wrapped up in our immediate environment, get wrapped up in what's immediately around us. And suddenly, what? We're just focused down. We're not looking up anymore. That's a painful place to be. We lose that connection we've strove for so long. But yet, it can always be rejoined. But it always has to make right decisions. And let me tell you, when you live with that life of truth as your number one priority, everything else works out well. Everything else works out much better, actually, because we're not getting in the way of our own success, our own enlightenment, our own peace. And we can pass that on to be better of service to others. So, all right. Well, that's where we're ending today. Thank y'all for joining me again for another daily reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations. August has been a very big picture type of month so far, just with these last three readings. I'm so very interested to see how we continue. And I'm really, really grateful for this stuff. So thank you all again for joining me today. And I look forward to what we bring to the table tomorrow. All right. So until next time, thanks.